Yes guys, so today we're going to be filming a recipe video. We've got a honey garlic chicken with broccoli rice. If you're getting bored and sick and tired of eating the same chicken, broccoli and rice, like chicken, veg and rice every week just to put on some sides, this is the video for you. It makes it so much more tasty, so much more interesting. I think you're going to love it. Okay guys, so one thing I do need you to do just before we jump into the recipe is make sure your oven is preheated, looking at 200 degrees. So to kick things off, you are going to need 8 boneless chicken thighs. You're going to need some garlic powder, chili powder, plain flour, garlic cloves, some gochujang, soy sauce, some honey, 2 limes, 1 broccoli, 300 grams of rice. I actually prefer long grain, 3 spring onions, and some sesame seeds. So first thing to do, if you haven't already, make sure your knife is nice and sharp. And then we're going to cut some chicken up. Okay, so for this recipe you're going to need 8 chicken thighs and we're going to need to dice them up pretty small. So I'm aiming for roughly 3 centimeters sort of chunks. Something about like that kind of size. The main thing is, don't worry about like getting a measuring tape out, just make sure they're like all even, because then they're actually going to cook evenly and they'll cook at the same time. So go for something like this. If you want to make them bigger because you like slightly bigger chunks of chicken, just do that. They just might take a little bit longer to cook, but that's absolutely fine. Yeah, that's kind of the main thing I always look for. Like I say, just try and make them as even as possible and they will cook very much the same time. So I'm just going to split through these next 7 thighs. So one thing just to speed this process up, you might have seen me doing it in the other thighs, is I'm basically just doing all of my cuts in one direction at the same time, like so. And then I'm rotating the thigh, kind of bunch it all up together, and then you just go down, and that way you can pretty much guarantee they're all going to be about the same size. There you go. It doesn't matter if like one's half a centimetre bigger than the other one or anything like that, but as long as it's not like, as long as you haven't got like a chunk like this and a chunk like this in the same pan, they're gonna cook pretty much evenly. So I'm all about just minimizing the prep time and making everything nice and easy for you guys. So onto the last thigh now. We're very nearly finished, and well, that's taken hardly any time at all. You know, we're at about 3.5 minutes. And I think one of the things that I really love about this dish is just the uniqueness of the flavour. Like, I've never really tasted anything like it. It's quite a unique flavour, like I say, but it's kind of like a bit sweet, a bit tangy, spicy. It's kind of got everything in. Next, I'm definitely going to wash my hands because they're covered in chicken, and then we're going to get a bowl out. Just got a nice big bowl. You want to make sure that there's enough room for all the chicken, plus a little bit of room because you're going to get your hands in there, or I like to toss it with the sort of bowl in my hands like that. So you want to grab your plain flour, garlic granules, chili powder, and your salt. Okay, so once you've got your bowl, you want to add 1 tablespoon of garlic granules. I'm going to go for half a tablespoon of chili powder, or a little bit more if you like it spicy. And last but not least, we're going in with 2 tablespoons of flour. And now, just got to give it a good old mix, make sure everything's all combined. We're sort of like seasoning the flour essentially, and that is going to go all around our chicken and coat it up, make the flavour really good. Add in a bit of salt at this point as well. So now we're just going to toss the chicken straight in there. A little tip, when you're scraping something off of a chopping board, I know I'm using plastic here, that will be fixed for the next video. When you're scraping something off a chopping board, always use the back of the blade, don't use the sharp part of the blade. So this is how I typically will toss my chicken. So I just kind of start off in the bowl just like this, just move it all around. It will kind of start coating itself, and then once some bits are coated, they tend not to stick to each other, as you can kind of see. That's already starting to happen. But yeah, try and just like mix as much of it around like that. Sometimes I like to get a spoon in there, just like mix it all around like that as well. If you've got gloves, and you can, go for it with the gloves. I'm not a big fan of going hands in, just because you end up with so much of it actually stuck to your hands and not on the chicken, which is not what we want, because we're going to be cooking the chicken, not your hands. Once that is all very nearly coated, we're going to prep a baking tray to go into the oven, let it preheat a little bit, and then we're going to put it out and put some olive oil on it. See what's happened here on the spoon? Imagine this like times 10, but on your hands. Okay, so at this point, whilst your oven is still reheating, if that is the case, you want to be dicing up your broccoli. Okay, so at this stage, oven's still reheating, it's probably got a few minutes left. You want to dice up your broccoli nice and small. Make sure either use a fresh knife or clean the knife that you already have. And we've got the wooden chopping board in, don't you worry. Typically, I like to do all of my meat at once and I do all my veggies at once. Sometimes I just do the veggies first, sometimes meat first, it doesn't really matter. Anyway, we've got this lovely head of broccoli here, and the stem, we are going to be using it. Don't throw it away. I'm a big fan of making sure you use absolutely every part of everything. So we'll cut the stem off, we'll deal with that later. As you can see, they're kind of like little trees, right? What I like to do, I kind of go in at the base and cut each one off, and then we'll actually cut this down into smaller ones. So you see there's like smaller little florets there. So yeah, you literally just cut along those little pieces, and again, just cut it down to a size that you would like to eat. So if you prefer them like really big and chunky like that, go for it. I find they cook a little bit quicker once you trim them down. Sometimes I chop the end of the stem off as well. And yeah, we'll just go through the whole head of broccoli exactly like this. Okay, now for the stem. Again, cut off any leaves, they're good to go in it as well. I'll probably cut the bottom little section off just because this bit's like super tough. It's kind of the oldest bit of it. But everything else can still be used. So like I said, I just like to chop everything up nice and small, like so. I'll probably even cut those bits in half. Okay, so next we are going to be cooking our rice. So I'm doing it the old school way. If you've got a microwave or you want to do it in there, go for it like that. But we've got long grain rice, it takes a little bit longer to cook, probably about 15 minutes or so. Normal rice I think is about 10 minutes. So whatever you've got, just cook it according to the pack instructions. But there's going to be one little neat trick, so keep watching. Like me and you're cooking rice in a pan, I always like to rinse it 3 times. And the reason being is because you get really like cloudy water. Let me show you. So yeah, you get like super cloudy water. So this is all the starch on the rice just coming off. And basically, yeah, you just rinse it 3 times, pour off as much of the excess without pouring out any rice. Yeah, sometimes I like to just like move it through with my hand a little bit as well. This next trick is literally just to figure out how much water you need to put in, right? So you put your finger on top of the rice, don't push it in. And then you basically want the water to just come up to this first knuckle. And this is like the best way I have found. It's like a proven way of making sure you don't have to drain your rice. There we go, finger sitting on top. You can see the water level literally just comes up to there. Make sure obviously all your rice is like leveled and everything, but you can see the water's a lot clearer now as well. This is the rice all finished. We're just gonna stick it over here onto the hob, and we're gonna whack it up to full heat until it starts boiling. Make sure to put the lid on. As soon as it's boiling, then we'll just drop it right down. The lid goes on and we wait for it to boil. Okay, so the next stage is just propping the chicken into the baking dish, like so. Obviously make sure to spread it around a little bit, and then we're just gonna drizzle a little bit of olive oil all over it. Obviously, if you are on a bit of a cut, then measure it out. If you're not, then don't. I use a healthy amount of olive oil, is what I like to call it. But yeah, there's a pretty good amount in there. So yeah, I mean, I think that is gonna cook up really well. Let's just give this one last little mix about, make sure it's all nicely coated in the oil, and that way it is gonna be cooking really nice. All the flavour already been sort of soaking on there for a little while. If you want, you can actually kind of prep that the day before you do this, so it kind of saves you even more time. It also gives the chicken a little bit of time to kind of soak in some of those flavors. Okay, next steps, straight back in the oven. And then you're going to want to set a timer for around 15 to 20 minutes. Boiling, so we're just going to drop the temperature on it. What this is going to be for the gochujang sauce, you don't want to miss this. Okay, so next steps, you're going to need a bulb of garlic. You just need 4 cloves from it, so we'll get those out now. There we go, here's our 4 cloves. Some of them have got skins on, we'll peel the rest. Okay, if you've got a bit of a stubborn garlic clove, one thing you can do, put the knife on it and hit it with the back of your hand like that. Alternatively, you can just use the heel of your hand and push into it until you hear a little crack, and then you can peel everything off. Now, in terms of prepping the garlic, what we are gonna do is just chop off the little bottom bit just there, and put that off with the rest of the scraps. We don't need to cut off very much at all. Honestly, it's like a couple of millimeters on each one of those, as you can see. And we're gonna mince these. So if you've got a garlic press, even better. If you've got, if you want, you can just use that, like, you can use that, the lazy garlic, whatever they call it. This is how I mince mine. So I go through like this. There you go, hopefully you can see that a bit better. So I've just basically gone along this way, and then I turn the garlic cloves so they're this way around, and then I'll go through with a bit of a rocking motion with the knife like this. So they're all pretty small. I'll go and do that for all the rest of the garlic cloves now. Okay, so once you have chopped up all your garlic nice and finely, the next step is to sprinkle a bit of salt. If you've got like flaked sea salt, that is the absolute best. Just sprinkle it on, don't like crush it with your fingers though. Okay, once the salt is on, what you want to do is then chop it through a couple of times. And then this is a bit of a techie secret, right? You kind of drag the knife back, and then you're pushing on like the heel of the blade. So this bit that isn't sharp, you're kind of pushing it and then pushing it away. And then you drag it back. Make sure you don't put any pressure on the blade when you do that. And then you push it away again, like that. And you can kind of see already, there you go. You can see how it's kind of like almost gone a bit transparent. And then you just bring everything else in and do the same with that. And basically the goal is with this is to try and get a nice consistent paste, just as you would if you're using lazy garlic. I honestly don't think it's lazy garlic if you use it so much, like go for it. Yeah, just like probably need 3 or 4 teaspoons. I think it's about a teaspoon per clove. So yeah, whatever it says on there, just follow that. I'll bring you in close for this little bit. So what we're gonna do is just scoop it up off the chopping board. It's so cool, you literally just like that, and then it goes straight into the bowl. Okay, so at this point the rice is very nearly ready. There's still a little bit of water in there, so I'm just gonna go in with a fork, just fluff it up a little bit. Now's the perfect time. Get those broccoli bits straight in the pan, and then if you can, give it a little mix. And then lid back on, making sure it's still on that low flame. Chuck the bowl in the washing up. Okay, for the next bit, we are gonna need our gochujang paste, and we're gonna need 2 tablespoons. And my honest advice with this stuff is tread lightly. I definitely wouldn't do more than 2 tablespoons unless you really, really love your spice. Like this with the chili powder as well, it is gonna be pretty spicy. And this stuff's crazy, it's like £2.50 as well. I'm sure you saw in the shopping vlog. If you haven't, I will link that below. Go check out the little vlog that I did where I picked up all the ingredients for this recipe. The only thing that I didn't pick up from the shop was spices, because I've already got loads of those because I make this quite a lot. So once you've got spices, they're such a good investment to make anything just taste that little bit better. But yeah, once you've got them, then you never need to pay for them again. So we'll go a second, quite large, tablespoon straight in there. We also need 2 tablespoons of honey, so that's where the sweetness is going to come from. So yeah, you're going to need 3 tablespoons. It's quite a sweet recipe, but it's so good. Next, grab your 2 limes, and we're going to juice them up. So there we go, we've got the juice of 2 limes. That's going to go straight into the bowl, just like so. Okay, this is me in the edit. I completely forgot to add the soy sauce in. So do that when you're adding all the gochujang, all the lime juice, the honey. Make sure you put your 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. Still tastes good with that. Okay, so now we're literally just gonna mix that all up. There you go, this is kind of the consistency that you're after. Still pretty runny, but that is gonna basically glaze all the chicken. Okay guys, so that is the rice pretty much all done. Look at that, steaming, it's gorgeous. The broccoli is just slightly tender, not fully cooked, but I like a little bit of crunch on it. It's actually a little bit better for you. I'll just fluff everything through with a fork and we'll get the lid back on that so it can steam. Okay, next, I think that chicken should be done by now, so let's go out and have a look. That is looking glorious. Look at that. Lovely and brown, look at all the flavor. Okay, we're just gonna cover this thing in sauce, just like so. If you haven't already, invest in a spatula, it will save you so much. And now we're literally just gonna mix that all in, make sure all the chicken gets completely coated by this lovely, sticky, sweet, sour sauce that we've just made. Just give it one last little shake, even everything out. I'm back in the oven. There you go, that's gonna go in for about another 5 minutes. Okay, so whilst everything's in the oven, it's a great time to just clear your surfaces, get rid of any scraps, chuck them in the veg bin, do some washing up, because then you don't have to do it afterwards. Saves you a lot of time. Now it's time to grab your meal prep containers or your plates, depending on if you're serving up now or you want to prep it for the week. I'm going for the prepped option, and then I'm going to eat some for dinner tonight. Check that out. Okay, and the very last thing is just to chop up a couple of spring onions, and we can just use those to garnish it. If you don't like spring onion or you don't fancy doing it, you don't need to. So there you have it guys, that is the meal complete. I hope you enjoyed it, and I can't wait to tuck into this. It looks incredible. The smells have just been going the whole time. Oh man, I think this is the best I've made yet. Go try it out, you're gonna love it.